The fork clattered against the porcelain plate, slicing through the merry hum of Christmas carols like a knife through flesh. My sister's words hung in the air, thick and poisonous. "Dad is handing me his entire savings." She said it with a smile, that smug, porcelain-perfect grin, as if announcing she'd won the lottery. But it was our family's future she was claiming. Dad's face crumpled, not with denial, but with a silent, gut-wrenching confirmation. His lips parted, but no sound came out, just a wheeze like air escaping a punctured tire. The room spun for me, the twinkling lights on the tree blurring into streaks of red and green fury. How dare she? How dare he? In that instant, the betrayal ignited something primal in my chest, a searing rage that clawed upward, demanding blood. I sat there, frozen, the taste of roasted turkey turning to ash in my mouth. The dining room, once warm with the scent of pine and cinnamon candles, now felt claustrophobic, the walls pressing in like accusatory witnesses. My wife, Elena, squeezed my hand under the table, her fingers cold and clammy, but I barely registered it. Across from me, my sister, Lila, leaned back in her chair, her emerald dress shimmering under the chandelier like she was the star of some twisted holiday special. She'd always been the golden child, the one who breezed through life on charm and manipulation, while I ground away at a dead-end accounting job to keep the family afloat. Dad's savings. That was supposed to be our safety net. Mine too, after years of loans I'd quietly paid off for him, the medical bills I'd covered when Mom died. But now this. Dad's eyes met mine, watery and pleading, but he said nothing. Couldn't even muster a defense. The silence stretched, broken only by the distant clink of silverware from the kitchen where Aunt Marie was oblivious, humming Silent Night. Lila sipped her wine, her gaze flicking to me with a flicker of triumph. "It's for the business venture, you know," she added casually, as if explaining a minor purchase. "Dad believes in me. Finally, someone does." The barb landed like a slap, resurrecting old wounds. Her accusations that I'd always been the jealous one, the sibling who couldn't celebrate her successes because they highlighted my failures. Heartbreak crashed over me like a wave, dragging me under. How could Dad do this? After all the nights I'd stayed up balancing his books, reassuring him that we'd make it through another month. Resentment bubbled up, hot and acrid, mixing with the humiliation of being sidelined at our own family table. I wanted to scream, to flip the table and watch the gravy boat shatter against the wall. But instead I forced a smile, my teeth grinding together. "That's generous, Dad," I managed, my voice steady but laced with venom I hoped only I could hear. Inside, fantasies swirled, grabbing her by that perfect chignon and slamming her face into the mashed potatoes, or cornering Dad later and demanding an explanation that would shatter this nightmare. Elena cleared her throat, her voice a lifeline in the storm. "Lila, that's quite the announcement. When did this happen?" Her tone was neutral, but I caught the undercurrent of disbelief, the way her eyes narrowed just a fraction. Lila waved a hand dismissively. "Oh, we've been talking about it for months. Dad's been so supportive, unlike some people." She shot me another look, and I felt the obsession take root, a dark seed planting itself in my mind. Months. While I'd been sending him checks, covering his mortgage. The denial hit hard. This couldn't be real. Dad wouldn't betray me like this. Not after everything. As dessert was served, pumpkin pie that stuck to the roof of my mouth like glue, the conversation limped on, superficial and strained. Uncle Ted droned about politics, but my thoughts raced ahead, dissecting every glance, every word. Lila's laugh grated like nails on chalkboard, each peal a reminder of her entitlement. Dad avoided my gaze, poking at his pie with a fork. His shoulders hunched like a man carrying the weight of his own grave. Guilt flickered in his eyes when he finally looked up, but it was fleeting, overshadowed by something else. Resignation? Fear. I excused myself to the bathroom, splashing cold water on my face, staring at my reflection in the mirror. The man looking back had hollow eyes, cheeks flushed with suppressed rage. "Get a grip, Mark," I whispered. But the voice in my head whispered back. "She took everything. Make her pay." That night, Driving home through snow-dusted streets, Elena broke the silence. What the hell was that? Her voice was soft, but anger simmered beneath. The wipers thumped rhythmically, a heartbeat to my turmoil. I gripped the wheel until my knuckles whitened. I don't know. But it's not right. We pulled into our driveway, the house lights welcoming but hollow. Inside, as Elena brewed tea, I paced the living room, the carpet muffling my steps like secrets buried deep. Heartbreak gave way to obsession. I replayed the dinner in my mind, analyzing Lila's smirk, Dad's silence. Had he been coerced? Or was this his way of punishing me for not being more like her, successful, charismatic? Sleep evaded me that night. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, shadows dancing like ghosts. Resentment festered, turning to cold resolve. By dawn, doubt crept in. Maybe I was overreacting. Family forgives, right? But then I remembered Mom's funeral, how Lila had shown up late, hungover, while I'd handled everything. No, this was the final straw. I needed answers. The next morning I called Dad. "We need to talk," I said, my voice flat. He sighed, the sound heavy through the phone. "Mark, it's complicated." Complicated. That word fueled my fire. We met at his old house, the one I'd helped him keep after Mom's cancer drained the accounts. The air smelled of stale coffee and regret. He sat in his armchair, liver-spotted hands trembling as he poured whiskey. "Lila. She needs it more," he mumbled. "Her business, it's her dream." I leaned forward, the leather creaking under me. "And what about me? The loans? The bills?" His eyes welled up. "I thought you'd understand. You're stable. She's fragile." Fragile. The word exploded in my mind. Lila, who manipulated everyone with her tears and tales of woe. Humiliation burned anew. "You mean she's better at playing victim?" I snapped. He flinched but didn't deny it. As I left, the winter wind whipped my face, sharp as betrayal. In the car I sat for minutes, engine idling, planning. Subtle at first, maybe expose her business as the scam it probably was. But deeper thoughts emerged. Fantasies of ruining her, watching her empire crumble. Moral conflict gnawed. Was I becoming the monster? No, this was justice. Slow, calculated. The pursuit began in quiet moments, researching her online, digging into her finances. Hints of vengeance surfaced in my dreams, where I'd confront her, her face twisting in fear. But reality was slower, a burn that built with each passing day. Weeks blurred into a haze of resentment. At work, numbers on spreadsheets mocked me, reminders of the stability Dad dismissed. Elena noticed my distraction, her touches tentative. "Talk to me, Mark." Over dinner one evening, candlelight flickering on her worried face, I confessed fragments. "She stole from us." Elena's eyes hardened. "Then fight back. But smartly." Her words ignited something, permission perhaps. That night I hacked into old family emails, guilt pricking like needles, finding threads where Lila badmouthed me to Dad, calling me the boring one who resents success. Obsession deepened. I started following her social media anonymously, noting her lavish posts about investments. The turning point came at a family brunch, snow melting into slush outside. Lila arrived late, designer bag swinging, announcing her first big deal. Dad beamed weakly. I smiled through gritted teeth, but inside resolve crystallized. As we ate eggs Benedict, the hollandaise sauce rich and cloying, I probed subtly. "What's the business exactly, Lila?" She evaded, but her unease was palpable, a crack in her facade. Tension coiled like a spring. I imagined the snap. By spring my planning intensified. Quiet evenings in my study, the desk lamp casting long shadows, I mapped her vulnerabilities. Her business was a pyramid scheme disguised as wellness coaching, preying on desperate women. Guilt warred with anger. Exposing her could hurt innocence. But heartbreak won, she'd hurt me first. Fantasies evolved. Anonymous tips to authorities or something more personal. Fear whispered, What if I got caught? Moral grayness loomed. Revenge felt justified, yet tainted. One rainy night, thunder rumbling like distant warnings, I drafted an email to the FTC, fingers hovering over send. Doubt flooded. Was this me? The brother who'd always played by rules. But Lila's voice echoed. Dad believes in me. Cold resolve pushed send. The die was cast, suspense building like storm clouds. The email vanished into the ether, a digital arrow loosed in the dark. For days, I checked obsessively, heart pounding with each refresh. Nothing. The world spun on. Birds chirping in blooming trees, Elena planting tulips in our garden, their red petals like drops of blood. But inside, obsession gnawed, a constant itch. I'd crossed a line, and the moral conflict raged. Hero or villain? Justice or pettiness? Nights blurred into feverish dreams where Lila confronted me. Her eyes accusatory, Dad weeping in the background. Guilt twisted like a knife, but resentment armored me. She'd betrayed first. This was balance. Subtle signs emerged. Lila's social media posts grew frantic. Desperate promotions for her empowerment seminars. I watched from afar, a shadow in the digital underbrush, savoring her unease. At a rare family call, her voice cracked when Dad asked about progress. It's fine, she snapped, the defensiveness a sweet note in my symphony of vengeance. Tension simmered, slow burn like embers under ash. I feigned concern. Anything I can help with? Her laugh was brittle. As if you'd understand business. Elena sensed the shift, her brow furrowing over coffee one morning, steam curling like secrets. You're different, Mark. Colder. I met her gaze, the kitchen clock ticking like a bomb. She deserved it. Confession spilled, the email, the digging. Elena's face paled, but she nodded slowly. Just be careful. Revenge changes people. Her words haunted, fueling doubt. Was I obsessing too much? The pursuit consumed weekends. I pored over public records, discovering her debts. Loans in Dad's name she'd co-signed without telling me. Fury reignited. Not just savings but risking his home. Summer heat baked the city, air thick with humidity and unspoken threats. I escalated quietly. Anonymous posts on forums warning about her scheme, linking to complaints from former clients. Each keystroke was a thrill, heart racing, palms slick. But fear crept. What if traced back? Moral gray deepened. Innocence suffered, but so had I. Humiliation from that Christmas dinner fueled me, the way Dad's silence had gutted me. The first crack appeared in July. Lila called, voice laced with panic. Mark, something's wrong. Investigators contacted me. I leaned against the counter, phone pressed to ear, feigning shock. What? Why? She rambled about audits, her tone desperate. Gone was the smug sister. Inside, cold resolve bloomed. This was the slow unraveling I'd craved. But guilt flickered. Dad would suffer too. I visited him that weekend. The house musty with neglect. He looked frilier, eyes sunken. Lila's in trouble, he whispered over tea, cups clinking shakily. I gave her everything. Heartbreak resurfaced, layered with pity. Why, Dad? He confessed. She'd manipulated him with tales of my resentment, promising to cut me in later. Rage surged, but I masked it. We'll fix it. As autumn leaves fell, crunching underfoot like broken promises, suspense peaked. Lila's business crumbled. Clients fleeing, lawsuits brewing. I watched from the sidelines, a puppeteer in shadows. But obsession turned inward. Nightmares of exposure, Elena's worried glances. One evening, rain pattering against windows, she confronted me. This isn't you. Stop before it's too late. Her words pierced. Doubt swelled. Was revenge worth my soul? The climax brewed at Thanksgiving. Poetic, circling back to family ritual. The table groaned under turkey and stuffing, scents mingling with tension thick as fog. Lila arrived gaunt, eyes shadowed, her dress hanging loose. Dad sat silent, a ghost of himself. As we ate, she exploded. "Someone's sabotaging me." Her fork slammed down, echoing. I met her gaze steadily. "Karma, maybe." Words hung charged. Dad wheezed. "Enough." But Lila pressed. "It was you, wasn't it?" Denial rose, but truth clawed out. "You stole from us." "From him." Chaos erupted, shouts, tears. Elena gripped my arm, whispering, "Mark." In the fray, Dad confessed everything. Lila's coercion, forged signatures on loans. She'd blackmailed him with old secrets. Affairs during Mom's illness. Shock rippled. My revenge felt hollow. Lila sobbed. "I needed it. You were always the favorite." Layers peeled. Her fragility was jealousy, twisted into manipulation. But my actions, morally gray, justified yet destructive. The twist came swift. As police sirens wailed outside, tipped off by my earlier reports, Lila lunged, knocking over the gravy boat, brown liquid spilling like blood. In the scuffle, Dad clutched his chest, collapsing. Heart attack. Panic seized. I knelt, CPR frantic, but his eyes glazed. "Forgive." He gasped. Lila screamed accusations. Elena called 911. In that moment, revenge's cost crystallized. Poetic justice turned tragic. Paramedics rushed in, the room a whirlwind of lights and shouts. Dad survived, barely, but the family shattered. Lila arrested for fraud, her empire dust. Me. Haunted by guilt, obsession's remnants. Elena held me that night, rain lashing windows. "It's over." But was it? Resolve faded to reflection. Betrayal birthed revenge, but at what price? The hook that jolted me now echoed in my soul, a cycle of pain, unbroken. In the end, I visited Dad in the hospital, machines beeping like accusations. "I did it for us," I whispered. He squeezed my hand weakly. "We all break, son." Unexpected consequence. His will, revised in secret, left everything to charity. A final twist, stripping us both. Poetic indeed. Heartbreak lingered, but so did cold truth. Revenge devours its wielder.